One of my favorite places in Grand Theft Auto 5 is right here. Check it out. It's a backyard, an empty backyard. Well, it's almost empty anyway. You won't find any missions that take place in this backyard. You won't find any characters hanging out in this backyard. No NPC will ever find themselves back here. Today, I'm going to show you a variety of places in Los Santos that all qualify as boring like this, including one that I consider the most boring spot in all of GTA 5, which is a little funny because the game is generally considered to be very high action and exciting, but that's just what happens if you make a giant world full of stuff to do. You know, you can have a bunch of activities all over the place, but unless you literally put them right next to each other or just have them selectable from a menu, there's going to be a bunch of space in between them, and that space is going to be boring, which is kind of interesting. Anyway, the first place I want to show you is right here. The entrance to this area is going to be right outside of the Rockford Plaza. You'll see that it says parking entrance over to the left, which is where we're going. Now, one side of this goes all the way through, and then you can get out the other side of the mall, but it's this left-hand side that we're interested in here. This is a parking garage that isn't actually a parking garage. It's a little road that's supposed to go to a parking garage, but when you get up to the top, it's completely closed. You have a poster for a movie about a monkey with an AK-47, which is pretty fun. We have this mysterious rectangle, which I really like. There's a lovely little grassy area. If you need a place to like hang out and have a picnic, you can come up here. And then there also is this hole in the barrier fence, which is, in Grand Theft Auto terms, basically it's the game telling you, hey, you should jump a car off of this. So that's the one little like intentionally gamey thing. Oh my God, was that lady just walking on the grass? Wait. I thought they didn't do that. Play that back. Was she really doing that? Yes. This NPC was walking on the grass. This is kind of mind-blowing to me because before deciding to do this video about boring things, I spent some time gathering time lapses of unused walkways in Los Santos to see if NPCs ever deviated from using the most obvious sidewalks to get around. And in all of that time recording that footage, as you can see behind me, nobody ever uses those weird walking paths. The people in this game always stay on the outside of city blocks. At least I thought they did until I saw this lady. Who is she? Maybe she's an accountant or something. You know what I bet she would say if we could ask her for financial advice? I'm sorry for this, I really am. She would probably say, you don't have money until you have a budget, and you don't have a budget until you have rocket money. Yes, this is the sponsored segment, but let it be known that I personally came up with that slogan. Okay, that came out of my brain. So if you hear any other YouTubers say it while doing an ad for rocket money, they stole it from me, and you should not use their promotional link as punishment. Only use my promotional link, which is rocketmoney.com/AnyAustin. Anyway, what is Rocket Money? Well, most people, you might probably have seen these ads around. Most people think that Rocket Money is an app that helps you figure out how much you're spending on various subscriptions like Netflix or Hulu, and then it helps you cancel the ones you don't need so you can save money. Rocket Money absolutely does do this, and it does it really well. Depending on, you know, how many subscriptions you have, it can easily pay for itself in the first 6 to 12 months just because of that feature. But what's annoying to me is that when they sell it like that, I feel like people come away with the impression that Rocket Money is like a gimmick app that only does that one thing. It's not. It's an excellent budgeting app. It will help you create categories for your spending. It will help alert you if you're spending too much. It will literally like graph your spending month over month, day by day, so you don't feel so overwhelmed and in the dark about whether you have enough money to go out to eat or not. Sometimes you don't have enough money to go out to eat, but if you didn't know that, you would go out to eat anyway. And if you do that a lot, it's bad. If you do it a little bit, it's honestly probably fine. And yes, budgeting takes effort, but it has never taken less effort than it does with Rocket Money. Okay, just try it. Go to rocketmoney.com/AnyAustin and get started for free. Believe in yourself. Budget. rocketmoney.com/AnyAustin. Here is the next place that I wanted to show you. Okay, we're here waiting just out off the side of Route 1, and there's a lot of really interesting stuff going on immediately around us. There's a liquor store that we can actually go in. Behind us, there's a little surfboard rental shop. Lots of fun details, but the thing that we are looking at specifically is right up here. This is a pedestrian walkway over a highway. Now, believe it or not, which I know you will believe it because there's no reason for anyone to lie about this. There's quite a few of these in Grand Theft Auto 5. There's a lot of them in Los Santos. If you've played a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5, I want you to ask yourself right now, have you ever actually walked up the steps and across one of these pedestrian walkways? Ever? Have you? If the answer is yes, you're going to hell because you're a liar. Now, in real life, the reason we use these pedestrian walkways, of course, is so that we don't get hit by a vehicle going 70 miles an hour down the highway. But in Grand Theft Auto, that's not a problem. Look. Okay, it is a problem, but the consequences just aren't as bad. Now, I've been hanging out around this little pedestrian walkway for about 20 minutes now, so not a long time, but long enough to notice that I haven't seen a single person, a single pedestrian, actually use it. Now, in fairness, I'm not sure that I've actually even seen a pedestrian walk along the sidewalk here, so that might be part of it. So what I think I want to do is actually find one of these that's in a little bit more populated of an area and see if the people who actually live here, these little computer people, use the pedestrian walkways. Because if they don't, that's really funny. Perfect. Oh, take a look at that. Okay. Nice. Oh my god, even this little one people are using. Does anybody know? Whoa, look at this lady walking along the side of the damn highway with her dog. They're not, you can't do that. Anyway, yeah, pedestrian walkways in open world games. Very boring. Big fan. You should go check them out for sure. Now, by this point, it's very obvious that when I say boring in the title of the video and I make a point to find the most interesting, boring places, there's a little bit of an inherent contradiction. We are taking an interest in boring places, which means we find them interesting, which makes them not boring anymore. There's a good argument to be made, actually, that the true boringest place in GTA 5 could never be a place that we would find to remark on for a video, and that almost by definition, if someone does find it and notices it, then it can't possibly truly be the most boring place. So when we talk about boring places, we're not talking about like places we find boring, right? What we're talking about is, you know, boring ass places, you know? I don't know, it's boring, okay? Stop thinking about it so hard. Anyway, next place. We're back at the place I showed you in the intro. So obviously I'm just a gigantic fan of the general vibes in here. I like the blue fences that make it feel like this really walled off, strange, abandoned little plot. But I think my favorite thing about this whole area is this right here. This trash can, you know, the one that we kind of scooted around. Why is this trash can my favorite? Well, let's say you're the owner of this house and this is your trash can. Let's just role play what trash day is. Okay, I got to take the trash out. Time to take the trash out. All right, let's get it. We're going to go take it out this way. Oh, wait, there's no way out over here. Well, better go the other way. Oh, wait, there's a tree in the way. Well, maybe if we forced it through the tree, we could come past this separate set of doors down this long, slithery hallway. Maybe it would fit through here, and we could bring it out. The other option would be to go through our neighbor's yard and bring it around here, past where their recycling bin is. But no matter which way you cut it, it's just a crazy place to have a garbage bin, and I just love that they put one there. And in general, yards, like backyards in this game, are just really fun to be in because nobody else goes in them for any reason. There are certain properties in GTA 5, like this one across the street from the yard we just looked at, that have people who sit outside them and accost you if you trespass. One thing I was curious about is if every house has some sort of NPC tied to it, or if most of the properties are just empty props for the world. I spent a few in-game days blowing myself up across the street from this house to pass the time and to see if anything happened at this house, and as far as I can tell, nothing does. No cars park in front of it, no one stops to say hi, no one goes in the yard. Despite the trash in the bin, it truly is just a prop for the game. And if you were wondering, NPCs outside the houses are also randomly generated rather than predetermined. If you wait a couple of days, they'll change to somebody else. They're just actors in a great Grand Theft Auto play. Now, this last place I have to show you, I think, has by far the strongest case to be legitimately the most boring spot in Grand Theft Auto 5. It's really boring. But first, I figured rather than just looking at boring spots that I came up with, I would ask you guys for your input on the most boring places in Grand Theft Auto 5, and you came up with some excellent answers. First up, from Totally Not Nice, who says, casino parking lot. I love a good parking lot, whether it's in real life or in a video game, and this is no exception. Parking lots in GTA have a lot of the same appeal for me as pedestrian walkways, because they are absolutely necessary for making the world feel real, but they're absolutely unnecessary for the video game Grand Theft Auto. Nobody parks in the parking lots while playing this game. Well, except maybe now because there's like roleplay servers, but you get what I'm saying. In fact, I spent the first few hours of GTA 5 while I was playing it trying to find legal parking spots anytime I drove anywhere, and the game actually punishes you for it by requiring cars just to start certain missions, or by having characters yell at you for taking too long to get somewhere if you're like looking for parking. The game just isn't built for it. My wish for GTA 6 is that there's a mode where they allow this kind of behavior, like a realistic parking requirement setting, where if you park a car somewhere, it stays there and it never moves and you have to go get it, and if you park it illegally, you get a ticket, and so on and so on. Rockstar, delay the game and add that in. Next up, at Brainworm Herder says that we should head underneath the overpass north of Chumash. I had to Google what Chumash was to find this, but they're right. This is a pretty great spot. This qualifies as a spot that would also be boring and ignored in real life, because you're not supposed to go under overpasses in real life, though it is really fun. If you ever get one that's like safe, highly recommend going under overpasses. The only thing that makes this spot not boring is the fact that there's a machine gun down here that you can pick up. They actually put a little a toy for you to, not a toy, but like a, you know what I'm saying? But I'm sure there's other great spots under other overpasses in the game as well. Maybe my favorite one that you guys recommended was from Raphael, who says we should go to the island off the east coast near the mines. This actually took a little bit of time for me to find and locate, but it's this place right here on the map. It's a good swim out there, and it's a little tricky to find a place to get up onto the island, but once you do, wow. This place is really genuinely beautiful, especially in the moment that I happened upon it. It looks like a Windows XP background. Just look at these, look at it. This is green. I'm just seeing green here, but you are seeing some sort of beautiful thing. So I don't know, obviously, if this qualifies as boring because of that, but I get what Raphael was saying. There's nothing here, at least that I can see. There's no reason to get here, and in fact, it's kind of hard to get here. Personally, though, I would hang out here for a while. I did hang out here for a while. The last place from the Peanut Gallery comes from Linus, whatever, and it was seconded by someone named Austin, not me. They both agreed that the swamps south of the military base were very boring, and overall I sort of agree but sort of don't. See, the swamps, they're very annoying to be in. Walking through them is really slow and there's no way around it. If you end up here, you either have to blow yourself up with a grenade, or you have to spend unironically 20 minutes walking out of it step by step. Here's footage of me sprinting through the swamp. Like this is me mashing the sprint button to go as fast as I can. It's really slow, but I don't know if I would say that annoying counts as boring. It's kind of the opposite of boring in some ways. Plus, there's lots of cool wildlife down here, and I think there's a small chance that this area was actually based on the Elkhorn Slough, which we discussed in my Morrowind Doesn't Have Any Rivers video. Okay, are you ready for my final contender? Are you ready to see the place that I honestly think is genuinely, seriously boring? Well, it's gonna be right here. Okay, this might be pretty obvious to people who play GTA, but this is where we are. We're in the mountains. There are a lot of areas like this in Grand Theft Auto 5, and they are all full of nothing. Now, these mountains in the northeast of the map, I think, are the most boring of all of them, just because when you're down in the little valleys, they have the worst view. You know, there are other mountains in the game that you can go to, but in general, if you're high up in the mountains, there's going to be some beautiful stuff to look at, which is slightly less boring. A lot of people, I think, online have complained about these sections of the map, saying that they should either just remove them or they should add something a little more interesting to them. And I don't know if I totally agree. I think it's cool to have a map that is a little bit artificially inflated in size and just has all of this space that you then know it exists out there, even if you never go to it. I think knowing that all of this boredom is out here kind of enhances the experience of the game. I'm not really sure how, or if I'm just kind of talking out of my ass, but I just have a gut feeling. That's right, folks. This, to me, is the most boring place in Grand Theft Auto 5. That's my vote. What's yours? I'm Annie Austin. Thanks for watching.